we got the sizzle.
We got the sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. Give it to me early.
Yes, sir. So at the 2021 presidential inauguration, poet Amanda Gorman, she became an icon. That was short-lived because Amanda went from icon to threat just that quick. Amanda described being tailed by security as she walked home. Amanda posted on Instagram, "A security guard tailed me on my walk home tonight. He demanded if I lived there because you look suspicious. I showed my keys and buzzed myself into my building. He left, no apology." This is the reality of Black girls. One day you're an icon, the next day you're a threat. Amanda also included, in a sense, he was right. I am a threat to injustice, to inequality, to ignorance. Anyone who speaks the truth and walks with hope is an obvious and fatal danger to the powers that be. A threat and proud. Yes, ma'am. According to the National Academy of Sciences, Black women are about 1.5 times more likely to be killed by police compared to white women. Black men are approximately 2.5 times more likely to die at the hands of police over a lifetime compared to white men. If you haven't seen Amanda Gorman's poem, "The Hill We Climbed," that she presented as President Joe Biden took office, make sure you check it out. And I'm sure it's going to be a poem that's going to be applicable to all times. And I think it's going to be one of those poems that you can listen to 20 years from now, unfortunately, and it will still apply. So what do y'all think about that? And, you know, as we were talking about earlier in the show, we were talking about how you can go into a store, you know, with your Black skin, because it's not like you can go in the store and when they, you know, some stores you go in, security might want to take your bags. Can you take my Black skin so I can go in here and shop without being chased around the store? And I go to a section and all of a sudden somebody want to come over. Now you want to clean up right here as I'm doing my shopping. Like, it's just, when does it end?
You're right.
My thing is the entitlement. Like, I mean, it's just, who gives people the audacity just to come to you and be like, who are you? And why are you going to this building? What do you mean? You know, because that happened. I seen it happen to so many people.
Trayvon
Martin walking into their own homes, and people literally have the audacity to stop you and question who you are. It's in
the DNA, I think.
Yes.
I really do. I think that's what systemic racism is.
Yes.
It's in that DNA, and it's gone generations as to saying that it's what entitlement is.
Exactly.
Yep. And just what you said about even with the stores, I noticed that when I used to go into hair stores, and most of them are owned by, you know, the Asian community, they used to like follow you. But now I've seen that it's taken a turn where they're now hiring Black women to help you throughout the store. Like, you go in and then they're the ones that are helping you with the products, and you ask them the questions. But that wasn't what it was at one point. Yep. Kobe said the same thing.
Yes.
It's DNA.
Exactly. That is so true. That is so true. And yeah, I have seen that spark. Like, now when I go in the hair store, I do see that there are, you know, Black women employed there, but I don't know if they're on assignment. You know what I mean? Like you just said, like, you know, now they're following you around.
And I don't know, and, you know, just looking from a lens of saying, how can I keep this in a positive realm of diversity and inclusion? Because at one point they didn't do that. They only hire within their own community or their family. So then, you know, now that they're now, you know, so much, and I won't even use the word allow, but employing our community now, is it being used as, like you said, are they surveillance, or are they now in that community as now giving jobs to people that they're receiving the money? Because now that money can now go into that Black community more so than it would at one point when it didn't even touch us. So that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but it's a change. I will say that.
Yeah, and I actually thought about that Netflix series Amend.
Hmm.
I can't remember. I don't you know what, to be honest, I've been watching so much stuff this these last couple weeks, and I can't remember where this came from, but I do think it came from Amend, and the guy was interviewing someone. It was a black guy and he was interviewing a white man, and it was a long time ago. And he was asking him, like, what do you think about black people when you see them? Like, how do you view black people? And the white man was like, oh, I view black people as pets. And the interviewer, he was like so taken aback that he stopped talking. And
I would have
believe
stopped the
it.
interview like, you go directly to jail.
He said, I see black people as pets or animals. And he just said it like just casually, like matter of factly. And the black man that was interviewing him was just like, it was like he wanted to say something, but of course, this was during probably like Martin Luther King and Jim Crow era, where like if you said something, you were likely to be found somewhere. You know what I mean?
No, just and you're right. Remember, what's the guy's name? I forgot, the comedian. He was on stage and he was being heckled by some black people. And he said,
Seinfeld.
yeah, yes, Seinfeld is the show, but I forgot the guy's name.
Oh
But
I
what he
thought it
did
was
say,
Seinfeld that was the comedian. Was it him that was getting
well,
heckled?
no, it wasn't Seinfeld.
Oh.
It was one of the guys that I can't think of his
that
name
was
right
on
now.
his
It
show.
escapes me. But anyway,
Oh.
it's the tall, weird guy. Like,
Yeah,
I
with
forgot
that
his name.
curly wavy
Yeah,
hair
with
or
the curly
whatever.
wig, yeah. And so he was being heckled. And he actually said almost identically what you just said. If it was a few years back, you would be hanging upside down with a fork up. Yeah, it's something like he said. He said something along that
Yeah.
line. And I was just so taken aback with that. And Michael Richards, that's his name. Yep, Michael Richards. And it just I just couldn't believe that not only that he said that, but Seinfeld is back on. And it's a
Right.
lot of shows that when we do something that isn't okay, public
Yeah.
opinion, we get canceled and they don't see shows like ours anymore.
Right. Seventh
That's
Heaven
it.
is one. The father, I think, had a lot of
Seventh Heaven.
sexual
Oh
assaults,
God.
and but they took Cosby off. Like he was the
Yeah.
devoted dad in Seventh Heaven, but here go Cosby, and they removed him. So you're absolutely right. But and just in politically correct, don't give it to me politically correct. Be
Yes.
transparent. Give it to me straight with no chaser. I am tired of the politically correct, and not that I like Trump, but it was more refreshing to see him in that position and in office for America to see, like, this is who y'all chose. This is who y'all put in there. This is America with 3Ks. Like, that's what it is. And
Yes.
so stop playing those games that when you go home now at the dinner table, you can call everybody with the N double G with the hard ER. No, let this stuff be out, because nobody, like, what I think at one of those white supremacies, the rallies, even at the Capitol Hill, they are now seeing that these were police officers, these were people who worked at the post office, your banks, the teachers. It's just like back in the day with the hoods. Now you're seeing it, and what are we doing about it?
Yeah. There were police officers from Pennsylvania that
Yep.
traveled all the way to DC to be there during that insurrection.
Yep.
And still
Sure
have their
did.
jobs. Still have their jobs. So we have to be concerned for our safety. Even still, if we get pulled over. It's just crazy. And then another thing, to your point, Spark, and then I'll move on. But another thing was that what's bothering me now is this Chris Harrison thing with The Bachelor. And it's like now he's sitting down with and this is what they do. They'll say something that's racially insensitive, and then they'll meet with a black person, kind of similar to what the girl did on the Red Table Talk with Olivia Jade, the Red Table Talk with
Yep.
yeah, it's like this guy sat down. I forget Chris Harrison sat down with somebody, and he talked with him and talked about how he was so sorry. And then the black guy, I can't remember his name right now, but the black guy was just saying like he seemed genuine, and yeah, he's sorry for what he did. And then he's taking the classes now, the diversity classes or whatever. And then I hear like, oh, he wants to go back to hosting The Bachelor.
Wow.
But then meanwhile, he's saying that he didn't, he's not trying to do that just so he can get his job back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
There's a comment on here that spoke to it. Says it was the NCAA college coach that just told his black players, don't run from the plantation. Shake my head. I believe the coach name was McDermott. Did you guys hear about that story?
I didn't hear about that, but I'm not surprised because remember they told LeBron James just shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
And they still got their jobs. Oh.
Yeah. Just shut up and dribble.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna move right along. As journalists, sometimes we have to ask those hard questions, but this question didn't really seem that hard to ask. So Queen Bee's dad, Mathew Knowles, he appeared on Leah's Lemonade show, which was hosted by journalist Leah Henry. Everything was going well until at the end of the interview, when Mathew was asked if he saw a comparison between Chloe Bailey that he saw in young Beyonce. After all, Chloe and Halle are signed and mentored by Beyonce. So you would think that Mathew Knowles, of all people, would see the comparison, right or wrong? Well, take a look at this clip.
But no, people compare them. People do compare them.
Talent-wise? Are you telling me talent-wise, somebody is an idiot enough to compare her to Beyonce talent-wise?
They say she's literally like a young Beyonce in the making.
I'm asking you a yes or no question. Are you telling me someone's an idiot enough to compare her to Beyonce talent-wise?
She's very talented, but Beyonce's a
yes or no? Are there people saying her talent is equal to Beyonce? They're an idiot, period.
Well, bloop. Well, there you have it. Listen,
that's actually insulting to Beyonce. I mean, if you wanted to call out some like Barbara Streisand or some people like that, like come on, man, really?
Chloe is talented though. That's why Beyonce picked
I want to
him.
get off this topic. I don't even want.
Girl. So
he's trying to get in with his daughter again.
My upper lip was curling with that one. But Leah, the host, she was trying to clarify that the fans thought that Chloe should play Beyonce in a biopic, and then she wanted his feedback. So needless to say that Leah nor the fans weren't prepared for that response that they got. So Leah also, unfortunately, she got backlash from Chloe and Halle fans who said she didn't do anything to stick up for Chloe. But sis Halle tweeted, "I ride for my sister to the end, okay?" So it looks like somebody does have Chloe's back, but if you saw the end of that interview, it was like he started seeing the comments, I guess, from people that were watching and they were defending Chloe. So he started to get mad. He like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this interview. And he took his, he got off and
what?
Yes, he got off of there. He started to get mad. He started to get mad because they were coming at him. But I guess like they were comparing Chloe to Beyonce. How old is Chloe?
Chloe is 23.
22. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah. So
when Beyonce was 22 and you
that's what I'm
compare her with
saying.
Diana Ross, I mean, come on. Like, Beyonce was no Diana Ross, which was the icon of, Black excellence at that time. So now because she gonna meet her time where she has to take the light and hand it off.
Yes.
She gonna have to hand it off.
Yes. And
What
I
you
remember.
about to say, C? Go ahead. Don't bite your tongue. Go ahead.
I just hate that it had to be such a comparison in the first place. Like, she's a baby. Like, she's like, let her be great. Beyonce is great. Let her be great. There's no reason for him to have had to be all defensive. He should have took that as a compliment.
Yes.
Right, but
he should have took that as a compliment, because I'm gonna tell you, that young lady is super talented, uber talented.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Not only are they naturally like gifted in terms of voice, but they are musically gifted in terms of instruments. That's something that Beyonce don't have.
Please put Kobe. He's a beehive. He in the beehive. Because everybody don't think Beyonce can sing, Kobe. Talking about Diana Ross didn't have that voice. Some people would disagree with you, but I don't think she was comparing. It's an inspiration, like inspiring too. So the way he got, I think he's just going off of his hurt feelings on whatever their family.
That's what it sounds like.
Their family downfalls are currently.
Yeah, that was the fact that was even a conversation as a competition. Like, she's a baby, man. Like, that's, I hate, it's one thing to say that the comparison in terms of like, she's an artist. Where was Beyonce at that age? She has, she has some growth to do. That's cool, but to just, act as if you're offended that somebody is just lightly or loosely comparing the two. I didn't hear in that interview where she said people are saying that she was better than Beyonce at that age. I didn't hear that. I just heard that people are comparing her like she's the next Beyonce. But you never know. And I'm a Beyonce fan. I think she could sing, contrary to, Cole and a few others. But I think Beyonce is musically talented. Somebody did a video on Beyonce voice, and Beyonce hit certain notes and just her cadence and some of the things that she do is certain things that a lot of people can't even begin to do.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't. She's great, but I wouldn't compare her voice to, say, for example, a Jasmine Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compare the two. And so I think the comparison argument when it comes to artists, that becomes a little challenging for me. If she said something, if she came out and said something like, I'm the new queen of R&B, then we'll have a problem. Then I can see Mathew Knowles having an issue. But she respects Beyonce. She's Beyonce protege. Like, come on. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But I could be biased because, again, I'm a Beyonce fan, and I love those two girls. I love them. They musically, I used to follow them on Instagram. I couldn't believe that they was playing. I mean, their voices sound like instruments.
Mm-hmm.
That's how talented they are. And so it was just challenging for me to see. That was hard for me to watch.
You're not biased. Everything you said was a fact.
Yeah. I just kind of like, I at first when he first started saying it, I'm like, tell me he's joking, but he continued, and then towards the end he got off, and I was just like, really, it wasn't that deep, It really wasn't that deep, and I kind of was thinking like, what would Beyonce say? Like kind of like, what would Jesus do? But what would Beyonce say?
Beyonce would have stopped that interview.
She would have been mad. And Beyonce is so sweet and humble. You know what I mean? I know she would have felt some type of way, and I know she probably does. She's probably like, why did he do that? You know what I mean? Like, why did he? Because it created a mess, and I know she mentors those girls, so I know she probably felt some type of way about that.
When you look at they hustle specifically with the pandemic last year, like they were putting out visuals on their tennis court, like
a whole concert.
Nobody. They had Beyonce who excused that strength, that hard work, that keep going, keep doing this. They were following her example. Whatever advice, whatever she was giving them, they knew that this is we're gonna make this our year. So
yes. And they were putting on whole concerts at home when they I think they what was that, the BET Awards, one of those award shows they performed for, and it was spectacular.
Yep.
It was spectacular.
One of them isn't she like the mermaid?
Yeah, Halle, yeah, she's in London, yep.
Preparing for that movie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, talented young women. Again, I think that it was more of an inspiration who inspires you opposed to a comparison.
Yeah. And Beyonce, when she was about their age, people might have been comparing her to somebody, but I think at one point they were saying like, no, Beyonce's not an icon. She hasn't done this. She got to put in her dues and this, that, and the other, or a legend or something like that. They said, and I'm like, well, she is kind of there. You know, I forget what age she was, but it's like,
she's there now. She's up there with
definitely
the Whitneys and the Mariahs.
Yes.
Definitely is a legend.
There's no question. No question at all.
Yeah. And you know, what Beyonce, what I love about her is that like she's so giving. She's so sweet and so humble. Like I've done stories about her with the Sizzle when, you know, talking about her Be Good nonprofit, where she's been doing so much giving back during the COVID-19. So, you know, Beyonce has a special place in my heart. I'm not official Beehive, but I'm kind of in there, you know. But the Celebrity Sizzle for Women's Month, we have a special Celebrity Sizzle for the month of March because it is Women's History Month. Lena Waithe, she has been a game changer in the industry, continuing to create opportunities for marginalized people. Lena is the founder and CEO of Hillman Grad Productions. And Hillman Grad Productions is a development and production company committed to creating art that goes against the status quo and gives a platform to marginalized storytellers by providing a platform for diverse voices across all mediums. And the Hillman Grad Mentorship Lab, that's the new mentorship program that Lena Waithe has. It provides opportunity for marginalized storytellers to connect, grow, and accelerate their career in television and in film. So the program, it is a tuition-free 12-month program with grants, fellows, or fellowships. It's a unique opportunity for the fellows to enhance their creative skill set through personalized instruction from industry professionals, creating additional pathways to bring more people from diverse backgrounds into the entertainment industry. And as you know, Lena Waithe has produced Queen and Slim, Netflix's the 40-year-old version, Dear White People, and more. So Lena Waithe is our Celebrity Sizzle Woman of the Month for Women's History Month, and she's continuing to break barriers in the industry. I'm your girl, Lauren Sizzle, and that was the Sizzle.
You are muted, Charles.
There we go. And that was the Sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. And because we kind of missed the top of the hour, I'll kind of do it right now. This is WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And a beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And a beautiful
Lily.
And yeah, man, this is We Talk Weekly. I don't want y'all to go nowhere when we come back. I think Lady S. Dot is here. You know what? We might go into a little fashion and then we'll do the sports. In with the sports. But Before we do anything, let's cut to a little break, and we'll be right back, y'all. Hello.
What's going on, you guys? This is Bridget Kelly, and you are locked into We Talk Weekly.